Hey guys, it's Alex back again with another haul. I know it's been, I don't know how long it's been, but as you can see there's been a few changes. First change of course, my records finally have a decent home instead of living on the floor here and just being all over the place. They're all in one place. And I shared it on the Facebook Vinyl community page, and a couple people went nuts for this album when they saw it in the picture, so I figured I'll play it in the background of this video. I would prefer an American issue, because American pressings tend to be better than the British ones, but it's still a good pressing. I would just prefer an American issue. So, with that out of the way, let's get into this haul. I have 3 12-inch singles to show you guys. First up is Go Home by Stevie Wonder. Of course, one of the only artists that I will impulsively collect. I do like this song, Go Home. I'm a big fan of the album In Square Circle, more so than many, I would say, but yeah, it's still a good album, still decent. Nice to have something by Stevie I didn't have yet. I also picked up Caribbean Queen by Billy Ocean. Probably my favorite Billy Ocean song. Definitely good. I'm actually going to try and hold it on this side. It might be better on this side. Yeah. These are actually mint copies. They are a little dusty, but yeah, they're fine. And then the final one I have to show you is the 12-inch promo for Level 42's Running in the Family. It's backed with Dream Crazy and the 7-inch version of Running in the Family. But yeah, nice to have a promo copy of this on a white Polydor label. No idea how I came across this, but it was just in my record store, so I picked it up. Nice to have that. So let's move on to onto the albums, and all the albums you're going to see are either, well, most of them are just to fill in gaps either in my collection or in my wants list. Starting off with Abba, Super Trooper, of course from 1980. Super Trooper, the big track on here, as is The Winner Takes It All and Happy New Year, which I would play every single year at New Year's since I discovered the song. But yeah, just a nice little album to have. German press of this, so the pressing is actually much better than the UK edition, but really love ABBA. Honestly, they're sort of a guilty pleasure of mine, even though I don't feel guilty about liking ABBA, so who knows. Anyway, time for something a little different, and this is a Russian pressing, Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. It's basically Led Zeppelin 3 and their Untitled album mashed into one compilation. This is, I'm unsure whether this is from 88 or 90, I'm pretty sure it's 88. But it's nice to have something that's just a little bit different. The pressing's actually really good, even though the vinyl's really flimsy. It sounds really good, so I'm not complaining. And yeah, like I said, it's something different from my Led Zeppelin collection, so nice to have that. Next up is an album I have been hunting for a little while now, one that hardly ever comes through where I am, and this is The Pleasure Principle by Gary Numan. This of course has Films and Cars on here, which is two big tracks on here. I probably like Films most out of those two, all the songs on this album. Of course this is from '79. Synth pop fans will know this. This is just a stellar album. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of Gary Numan, but there's a few songs I like here and there, and I had to grab this album because it has some of the songs that I do like, so here it is. Now, going back to the artists that I impulsively collect. Like I said, there's not many. But there's a couple more here that I'm going to show you. Well, one's an artist, one's a band that I impulsively collect. Starting off with Nat King Cole. Love Is the Thing. American press of this. A high fidelity recording. In almost perfect condition. The back's obviously stained and has some ring wear, but like I always say, you can't play the cover. Yeah, Nat King Cole I impulsively collect. I practically grew up on his music from my uncle, and I just loved Nat King Cole from a really early age, so I just have to grab Nat King Cole when I see him, and he is one of my favorite jazz singers, and this is a really good album from him, so I had to grab that. And the other band, one band that I impulsively collect, only because I saw them live, I want to say 2014, but it is China Crisis. This was actually my first concert I ever went to. Fun fact there for you. But yeah, China Crisis, this is their second album, Working with Fire and Steel, Possible Pop Songs Volume 2. 1983 is the year on this, on Virgin. And China Crisis don't actually come up that often. They're a very overlooked band, in my personal opinion, or at least in my experience, and I love this band, so anytime I see anything by them, I'm going to grab it. So there it is. China Crisis. In case you are a new subscriber to the channel, I love the Bee Gees, and there's a couple albums here that I love that I didn't have yet. First is Cucumber Castle. I shared this on Instagram. The only thing out of this lot I think I showed on Instagram. Maybe, yeah. But the opening track, If Only I Had My Mind on Something Else, is one of my favorite Bee Gees songs. So I kinda had to grab that. 1970 is the year, so it's the follow-up to Odessa. And yeah, I just love this album. It's a beautiful album. And then there's a little bit of nudity on this cover, so if you don't like nudity, I would look away now. But this is Main Course by the Bee Gees. Has Nights on Broadway and Jive Talking are on this album. I know Jive Talking was also on the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, but it was on this album first, as was Nights on Broadway, which was then later on covered by Candy Staton. And those not related, but there you go. Yeah, anyway, 75 is the year on this one. It's not on Polydor, this is on RSO. And it's just a beautiful album, it's good, I love it. It is a good album. Very overlooked one by the Bee Gees as well, so nice to pick that up. Alright, sorry about the little cut there, my camera cut out, so I had to restart the recording really quickly, but we're back and I have about 3 pieces of soul music here to show you. Starting off with this American issue of Marvin Gaye's I Want You. This is another overlooked album. I mean, I think my favourite era of Marvin's career is from What's Going On right up to Midnight Love, so anything in that sort of era I'm going to grab it. And this is definitely in that era. 76 is the year on this album. Nice to have this American issue. An album I've never seen in person before, so I had to grab it when it came through. And then one I needed for the collection because I have his first 2 albums. It's Dancing on the Ceiling by Lionel Richie. He's sort of become harder to find since they reissued his first 2 albums. But it's nice to finally have this. Dancing on the Ceiling, of course, and Say You Say Me are the big tracks off this album. 85 is the year. It's still got the Hive sticker, the embossed right in there on the cover. Yeah, I am a fan of Lionel Richie and the Commodores, so anytime I see something by them I don't have, I am going to grab it. Again, German pressing of this, but I can now say I have Lionel's first 3 albums on vinyl and his first 4 albums on some kind of physical format. I think that's about me done for Lionel Richie at this point. There's not a whole lot else after this that I really want to pick up, so I'm pretty much covered on the Lionel Richie stuff now. And the next album I'm going to show you is actually it's still in shrink copy of Cheryl's High Priority album. Again from 1985. a British pressing of this, and Saturday Love is the big track off this album, with which features Alexander O'Neill. Yeah, definitely one I was meaning to grab but never got round to it, and I'm so glad I finally have a copy of this. So yeah, it's nice to have some Sherelle in the collection. Some more classic 80s soul there, and that is also from 1985, so nice to grab that. Next up, I'm pretty sure every member of the VC has those genres they wish they could know more about, and for me that is blues, so I picked up a copy of Hard Again by Muddy Waters. 77's the year on this. This is an early reissue, although I'm unsure which year the reissue is from. Yeah, but just an incredible album. This album is unbelievable. Muddy Waters is very, very talented, and yeah, I wish I could know more about the blues genre. I mean, outside of the big names like Muddy Waters and B.B. King, of course, Albert King, Robert Johnson. But yeah, outside of those names, I don't really know too much about the blues genre. So, but I figured I'll pick up some Muddy and add it to the collection because. Or add it to my musical library, I should say, because I don't like the word collection. Yeah, there it is, Muddy Waters, Hard Again. Next up, my good buddy Jeff Kempin showed this in his latest vinyl finds. Sorry, his latest Spin Zone video. And I had to show that It's really funny because I picked this up the same day that video went live. That album is Yes Songs, from 73, of course. Goes up to Close Again. So it came out just before Tales of Topographic Oceans, which is my favourite album by Yes. But yeah, just a fantastic pickup. Of course, took a while to get through because it is a triple album, but what else am I going to listen to when I'm building these behind me? So yeah, nice little pickup there. And fabulous stuff here. Side 3 on mine is a little bit crackly, but other than that, this is a pristine copy. Love this song. Not related at all, but going back to this, the song Toy Soldiers was actually sampled by Eminem, who is my favourite rapper. He uses the hook of the song, so there you go, fun fact for you. Anyway, I'm all one for supporting local bands, and this is one from right here in my hometown. This from 1986. This is the Maroon Dogs with their album Apart from the Physically Impossible. They only had, I'm pretty sure they only had 2 albums out. If they had a third one, it was released a few years ago, but I'm not aware of it. This is the only album by them I've ever seen. I really only grabbed it because it was a local band. Half the album is studio stuff, half the album's live. I think the best way for me to describe this album is it's very Beach Boys influenced. If you like Beach Boys, you might like this band. I'm not really a fan. I did enjoy the live side a bit more than the studio side, but I'm gonna keep it just because it is a local band. So there we go. Next up is a hip hop group that I've actually shown before. They are from here in England. It's the Four Owls. This is their debut album. This is a reissue from this year. Really nice to have a copy of this finally, which means I now have both of their albums. I'm not as big a fan of this album as I am of the album that follows this, but both they're still really talented guys, and what I love about this one is the vinyl. Look at that. Yellow marble, or splattered vinyl. I'm a big fan of splattered vinyl for some weird reason, but yeah, I love it and I had to grab it. Especially as it's only limited to 500 copies. So, and yeah, this the label does keep reissuing this group's stuff, because they reissued this album last year, but I just missed out on a see-through orange copy of this because they sold out super quick. Super duper quick. So yeah, there it is. The 4 Owls, Nature's Greatest Mystery. Good album. And yeah, just really talented guys. If you like if you like that 90s boom bap sort of style of hip hop, then these will be right up your street. They are really good, talented guys. And I was talking to Bill over at the Vinylverse in the comment section of one of his recent videos, and I've been getting into soundtracks recently. So I picked up the soundtrack to one of my favorite movies from 2016, which is Star Trek Beyond. Yeah, I know. I love this movie. Yeah, American issue of this. Really good at soundtrack. Incredible, nicely done. Double album, of course. And I got a really good deal on this. It was like 40% off on eBay, so it came from like £32 down to 19, so I wasn't going to pass up the opportunity to grab it. Yeah, just one of my favourite soundtracks at the moment, so I had to pick it up, and I've been listening to this a lot since I got it, so there it is. So, that is going to do it for this video, guys. Can you believe it? Vinyl Finds 30. Yeah, we finally made it. So, guys, thanks so much for tuning back into the channel. If you're new, welcome. Please subscribe, and there'll be all this to come again soon, and even more. So, I'll see you guys again very soon. Peace.